Welcome to Tales of Marketing Transformation, laying firm foundations for your marketing journey. Tune out all the black magic and imagine a time where marketing has transformed into something human. Where marketing is about building relationships with people you serve. Where marketing is about helping people. That time is now. This is Tales of Marketing Transformation. And here's your host, internationally recognized marketer, speaker, and podcaster, Dr. Jürgen Strauss.
Hello there. It's time to continue our quest to make marketing human again. Thanks for spending your time and attention with me right now. I really appreciate you. It has been a while since the last episode, and a lot has changed since then. Many things that we couldn't have possibly imagined, such as everyone around the world in various forms of stay-at-home situations due to the global COVID-19 pandemic. All our lives have been impacted, and in the online world, some have gone dark or invisible, whereas others have begun bombarding me with well-meaning emails full of advice about how to best deal with the pandemic, which is kind of funny because we haven't experienced something like this before. Anyway, someone said to me once early on during the lockdown that you're either hiding or you're leading. What's your choice? What's your choice? Are you shining your light brightly to serve your community? Speaking of the light, I was reminded of a little story that I presented to our Toastmasters community recently. It goes like this. Let's do something different this morning, she said. Let's walk instead of ride. There's something I want to see. The sun's early morning light was just cresting the horizon as we set off. Along the waterfront, the silver peaks of the rolling waves glowed in the morning light just before crashing onto the shore. Another wave followed, then another, and then yet another, all with the same glow on their silver crest. The strengthening light of the sun caught the surface of the water, forming a glare that had me wishing I'd put on my sunglasses. Further on, we heard a humming sound approaching from in front of us. As it grew louder and louder, we could see an object in the sky, hovering above the lookout point in front of us. Every few moments, the object would dart out over the ocean, stop and hover there before returning back to the lookout. We arrived at the lookout point to see a man with a complicated control panel to a very fancy-looking drone. Great light for aerial photography this morning, he said. I'm here photographing the current patterns and tide movements. After a short conversation in the morning light, we left the man to resume his flying and headed along the coast across the sand dunes. I suddenly became aware of a presence to my left and looked across to see a brown rock wallaby looking down on us from atop the rock he was perched on. Its eyes were bright and its brown fur shone in the morning light, what photographers call one of the golden hours. I stopped to photograph it with my phone, and the wallaby obligingly stood perfectly still. As we crested the last of the sand dunes, we were greeted by the most gorgeous sight. There she was, right in front of us, in all her splendour, dressed in white with a red cap and a grey scarf. Her bright, shining eyes beamed like rays of intense light as she stood there, tall and proud and strong. As tall and proud and strong as she had stood for over 160 years, and no doubt would do so for many decades more. The picket fence formed a beautifully framed foreground, offsetting the vast expanse of ocean behind her. The Lighthouse. She had been part of much change, powered first by an oil lamp, then carbide gas, later a gas jet, and now solar power with a wind generator backup. Communicating first via telegraph, then telephone, and now over the internet. She had stood strong, shining her light through some momentous events like the gold rush in southern Australia, through the Eureka Stockade, through Federation, through the Great Depression, through 2 world wars, through the space race, through the Cold War, through all the black fire days here in Victoria. Shining her light all the time. You see, lighthouses don't react to their environment. Whatever external influence comes along, be it storms, wind, fire, earthquakes, wars, economic downturns, revolutions, and yes, even pandemics, the lighthouse proactively continues to shine her light with the same intensity and the same direction as she always does. Consistently and congruently, so that the boats at sea and the sailors in them can always find their way to the safety of land. She shines her light with a consistency and intensity that is unwavering, a beacon of certainty in an uncertain world, faithfully guiding ships into the security of the port. Was this what we'd come to see this morning? We spent quite a while silently admiring her splendour, her steadfastness, her radiant beauty, and of course, no surprises here for those of you that know me, taking lots of photographs. Then we resumed our walk, confident in the knowledge that our lighthouse would keep shining her light for long, long after we passed. We returned to our cottage to find the others just starting to stir in their beds, so we set about firing up the espresso machine to make morning coffee for all. As she passed me a capsule for the machine, I looked into her eyes and I said, "Thank you. Thank you for this morning, and thank you for being my lighthouse." She put down the capsule she was holding, reached out and embraced me with a long, warm, affectionate hug. If you are a parent, you will know that a hug like that from your child is pure joy. It's priceless. No, it's much, much more than that. The love, the connection, the trust, the certainty, all the feelings and emotion contained in that hug, they're the very foundation of my own lighthouse. It was a beautiful walk with my daughter that morning in the early morning light to visit that lighthouse. We need her to keep shining her light. We need everyone to keep shining their light. Now, more than ever, keep shining your light.
This is Tales of Marketing Transformation.
There are many metaphors contained in that story, and I encourage you to listen a few times to find them all. In fact, comment in the show notes to tell me that all the ones you recognise, because there might be some there that I unconsciously placed there and don't recognise myself. And also tell me what they mean to you. As you reflect on this story, I'm really curious to know, how are you showing up and shining your light? What is the foundation of your lighthouse? I'll be talking more about your lighthouse, my lighthouse, in future episodes, because this is the first step of our 12-step marketing journey. The Lighthouse model comes from George Bryant, who you can hear on a future InnovaBuzz podcast, episode 300. He has been on the InnovaBuzz podcast before, so go listen to his earlier episode as well. In the meantime, keep shining your light.
This is Tales of Marketing Transformation.
Thanks for listening to this episode. Subscribe to the show to be reminded of new episodes. It's free to subscribe. Leave a review if you like. Even if you don't like me, I'm okay with that. I'm asking you to leave a review because it helps other people find this show. Go to talesofmarketingtransformation.com to join our Marketing Transformation community and access a free gift my team and I made for you. It's the Marketing Master Mini Class. We want to give you everything you need to transform your marketing into a human-centered, relationship-focused growth engine. I'm Jürgen Strauss from InnovaBiz. Tune in again next week to Tales of Marketing Transformation, when I'll talk about using an empathy map to get an even deeper understanding of your ideal client. Stay awesome and let's make marketing human again.
Thanks for coming on this journey with Tales of Marketing Transformation. Join us next week for another fabulous episode. For episode resources, visit www.talesofmarketingtransformation.com. Stay connected by subscribing at talesofmarketingtransformation.com/subscribe.